welcome to another episode of What Now, the podcast that keeps infusing magic into your life. In today's episode, we delve into a critical and often overlooked aspect of the healthcare field, the mental well-being of medics in the hospital setting. While these dedicated professionals save lives and provide critical care under high-pressure circumstances, they often face unique challenges that can take a toll on their mental health. Join me today as I explore the realities, experiences, and coping strategies of medics, shedding light on a topic that deserves our attention and support. Ladies and gentlemen, joining us today on What Now is a special guest who brings first-hand experience and valuable insights into the world of hospital care and mental challenges faced by medics. Marvin Omukuba, a highly respected and dedicated individual who has spent 6 years working as a medic in the pre-hospital setting, saving lives and providing critical care when it's needed most. With a passion for both healthcare and mental well-being, Marvin has dedicated their time to understanding the unique pressures faced by medics and exploring effective coping mechanisms to protect and prioritize mental health. He's also been actively involved in initiatives and programs aimed at supporting mental well-being of medics within the pre-hospital field. So without further ado, I'd like to welcome you to the show. Welcome, Marvin Omukuba.
It's Marvin Omukuba, and asante sana Nicole for kunikaribisha. Thank you so much.
So Marvin, I have some few questions I'd like to ask you. For the sake for viewers, so that they get to understand what I'm really talking about, and so that they get more insights.
Yeah, sure. I'd like to know the questions actually. Actually, the mental health issue has been a menace, especially pre-hospital setting. I'm ready.
Thank you. So what are some of the common mental health challenges that medics in the pre-hospital setting face, and how do these differ from other healthcare professionals?
We face almost same mental health challenges that other medics face, but the only thing I can only say is we are actually more likely to go to depression and also post-traumatic stress disorder, this is PTSD, because of the nature of work we do. We actually come into contact with patients and casualty at first sight. So we always see the person at his worst, or at her worst actually. Depression, PTSD, and anxiety are more likely to actually affect medics, especially in the pre-hospital setting.
Could you share a personal experience or a story that highlights the impact of these mental health challenges on medics and the care they provide?
Actually, I have stories. There are a lot of stories that they actually affected my mental well-being. The one that I can be able to at least say that it really affected me is whereby I lost some of my patients consecutively. Actually, in a week time, you get that you're losing patients, which losing a person is not something that a medic wants. Most of the time you want the best outcome for your patient, but when you lose a patient, it takes a mental toll on you. Some of these things that I didn't know that I'm heading to, I'm actually having anxiety. Most of the time I had anxiety. I just want to be with myself. I don't want people around myself. And it really took a mental toll on me. These stories, there are a lot of stories, and I know medics out there, especially in pre-hospital settings, they have a lot of stories that I can put in. But these stories, they are there to actually be aired. We need to talk, we need to speak, both with professionals and also both among medics and also among our friends. But also, one of the limits that we have in making sure that you're talking or we are speaking these stories is we also need to protect the privacy of these people. We also need to make sure that we respect the privacy of the family and also the privacy of the patients. So these are the limitations to how we can be able to, or how we air our stories.
And what are some of the effective coping mechanisms or strategies that medics can employ to protect and prioritize their mental well-being in such a demanding environment? Like you just said, losing someone is one of the things that makes you anxious. What are some of the coping mechanisms that you put in place?
We are not really prepared for what is ahead of us, especially as medics, especially in the pre-hospital setting. But we were not prepared, especially in our training, in terms of what is... Actually, the training actually just makes you ready to handle as somebody who is injured, somebody who is suddenly taken ill or stuff. But in terms of your own mental health, I can say actually we are not really prepared for that. But I can also advocate on awareness, because when a medic is aware of what is waiting for him or her, is able to actually deal with these mental health issues. So ideally, when you're in this field, it's always good to find time for rest. It's always good to find time to associate with friends, have time at least for family, and also I can encourage maybe having some exercise, hit the gym if you need to, have some time for yourself, go out, jibambe yami, and these are the things that we need to have as medics, because we always see ourselves as superheroes. We always see ourselves just you're the only person who can be able to help another person. No, you're also someone who needs to be helped. We also talk about wounded heroes, and a wounded hero is someone who cannot be able to help himself. So if you're wounded, nobody will help you. So kindly take care of yourself. Peleka out, ukoenda Naivasha, enda wapi, find something that works for you.
Let's continue the conversation, spread awareness, and